the woman he left behind. But God did not. Have you ever helped someone rise, only for them to forget you the moment light shines on them? Have you ever carried a family on your back, only to be abandoned when blessings finally came? Today's story will show you something powerful. People may forget you, but God never forgets your sacrifice. Kampala was noisy that morning. Boda-bodas honking, vendors shouting matuke, fresh matuke, and children running to school in their dusty uniforms. But inside a small rented single-room house in Kireka, silence ruled. Joel sat on the edge of the bed, staring at a brown envelope. Mary, his wife of 14 years, stood near the stove frying a few slices of cassava for breakfast. She could see the fear in his eyes. Mary, softly, "Joel." "What did they say?" Joel exhaled, his shoulders collapsing as if the world had sat on them. Joel, whispering, "They fired me." The frying pan slipped from Mary's hands. Oil splashed. She didn't feel the burn. The real fire was in her chest. Mary, "Fired? Why? What happened?" Joel, "They said the company is downsizing. My department is gone." For a moment, neither spoke. Mary slowly walked to him. She held his hand tightly. "Mary, we will survive. God is with us." Joel didn't respond. He only looked away, ashamed, defeated. That night, while the city buzzed with life, their home fell into quiet tears. The next months were the hardest season Mary had ever known. Joel woke up early every day to search for work. He returned late with the same answer, but nothing. Mary refused to let darkness win. She started selling roasted maize and ground nuts outside a supermarket. Every morning at 4 a.m., she lit the charcoal stove while the rest of the city slept. Her hands hardened, her skin darkened from the sun. Her feet cracked from standing all day, but she never complained. One night, Joel sat on the bed staring at her swollen feet. Joel, quietly, "Mary, I'm supposed to be the provider. Look at you suffering." Mary touched his shoulder gently. "Mary, you are still the head of this home. We will rise again." She didn't know it. But every time she said those words, God wrote them down. After 1 year of unemployment, things worsened. Rent piled up. School fees were overdue. Sometimes the children slept hungry. Joel became angry, distant, and insecure. Neighbors started whispering, "That woman carries that family now." The man has failed. Joel heard it. He broke down inside, and slowly, resentment entered his heart. Meanwhile, Mary kept hustling. She washed clothes for people in the flats. She cooked beans and posho for workers. She saved every shilling. Still, she prayed every night. "Lord, restore my husband. Lift him again." She didn't know God was listening. For 5 years, Mary carried the family on her shoulders while Joel searched for opportunities that never came. Then suddenly, a miracle came, but only for one. On a hot Thursday morning, Joel received an email. It was from a huge company in Nairobi. They wanted to interview him. Mary screamed with joy. She cooked his favorite meal. She ironed his only good shirt 3 times. She prayed over his CV. Joel traveled, attended the interview, and returned quietly. 1 week later, the call came. He had gotten the job. The salary was unbelievable. The benefits, shocking. The future, shining. Mary cried like a child. "God has remembered us. Joel, our season has changed." She hugged him. He hugged her back, but his eyes were already drifting away. Joel moved to Nairobi to start work. At first, things were normal, but the new environment changed him. The salary boosted him. Attention from colleagues inflated him. And then she appeared. Her name was Sandra, a tall, polished, English-speaking woman who turned heads everywhere she walked. She worked in another department, but fate kept crossing her path with Joel's. It started with small conversations. "Good morning, Joel." "You're so smart, Joel." "You're different from other men." Joel hadn't heard such praise in a long time. He drank it deeply. Too deeply. One evening, he told Mary on phone, "I'm busy. I'll call you later." He didn't call. Another day. "Don't ask too many questions, Mary. I am working." Mary sensed a change, but she didn't panic. She prayed harder. 3 months later, Joel returned home to Kampala. He wore a new suit, held a new phone, smelled of expensive cologne, talked with a new accent. Mary ran to hug him. He hugged her with one arm. That night, he sat her down. "Mary, I think I've outgrown this life. I want something different." Mary felt the world spin. "What are you saying?" Joel swallowed hard. "I met someone, a woman. Things have changed for me now." Mary couldn't breathe. Her heart collapsed. "Joel, after everything? After all these years? After all the suffering we survived?" Joel looked away. "I want a new beginning." That night, Mary cried until her pillow was soaked. The children heard her sobbing. They hugged her and asked, "Is Daddy coming back?" She had no answer. Joel returned to Nairobi and married Sandra in a private civil ceremony. Within 1 year, he built her a modern house in Syokimau, bought her a car, took her on flights, gave her everything Mary once prayed for. Meanwhile, Mary was thrown out of her small house for failing rent. Her children dropped out of school. She went back to washing clothes to survive. But every night she prayed, "Mary, Lord, don't let bitterness enter my heart. Heal me, help me raise my children. Show me your mercy." God listened. One afternoon, Mary was selling roasted maize. A big white car stopped. A woman stepped out. "Headmistress Grace." "Young lady, I've watched you for months. You work hard. Where are your children?" Mary explained everything. The headmistress nodded gently. "Bring them tomorrow. They will study for free, and I want you to work in our school canteen." Mary dropped to her knees, crying. It was the moment her life turned. Day after day, she worked faithfully. She learned baking, catering, and budgeting. Her confidence returned. Her business grew. Soon, her small catering business started supplying snacks to schools and offices. She rented a bigger house. Her children returned to school. People began calling her Madam Mary because of her success. God had lifted her, without a man. Meanwhile, Joel's paradise cracked. Sandra started flirting with richer men. Arguments increased. She insulted him publicly. She called him a broke villager. Then he lost his job. Sandra packed her things and left. Joel called Mary. "Mary, can I come back?" Mary looked at him, a shadow of the man she once loved. "I forgive you, but I will not return to what destroyed me. God healed me. I choose peace." Joel bowed his head in shame. He had lost everything, including the woman who carried him through storms. Joel walked away slowly, learning the hard truth. A woman who stands with you at your lowest is the one God blesses in the end. And a man who abandons his covenant loses more than he gains. Psalm 27:10. "Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will take me up." Even when people abandon you, God will carry you. Galatians 6:9. "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due time we shall reap if we faint not." Mary's harvest came because she kept doing good even when her heart was breaking. The story ends in church. Mary stood before women in a fellowship group sharing her testimony. "When my husband left me, I thought God had abandoned me. But the Bible says in Psalm 27:10, 'Even if my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me.' People may leave you, but God will never forget your sacrifice." Women cried. Some knelt to pray. Some hugged Mary. If you are watching this today, don't give up. Don't let pain turn your heart bitter. God sees your tears. God rewards faithfulness. Soft music rises. Dear viewer, if someone walked out of your life after you helped them rise, remember, people forget, but God remembers. Your blessing is coming. Your testimony will speak. Your tears will not be wasted. People may forget your sacrifice, but God never forgets your tears. Trust Him. Wait on Him. Your own testimony is coming. Like, comment, and share this story. Subscribe to African Gospel Tales. More powerful stories are coming. Sometimes the greatest lessons in life do not come from a pastor on the pulpit. They come from broken homes, broken promises, and broken hearts. The story of Mary, Joel, Sandra, and the children is not just a story. It is a mirror of how people live, love, and destroy each other in our world today. Mary, the woman who was loyal in a disloyal generation. Mary represents millions of women in today's world. Women who sacrifice their youth for a family, stand by a man when he is nothing, believe in love even when love hurts, pray even when tears fall. In today's world, nowadays many women are taught, leave him the moment he struggles. Go where the money is. Marry for comfort, not commitment. Don't suffer with a man. But Mary teaches us something different. True love is proven in storms, not in sunshine. She did not leave when life was hard. She did not mock when Joel failed. She became the provider, the prayer warrior, the mother, and the father when he was down. In today's world, many people leave a relationship as soon as there is no money, there is sickness, there is stress, there is no Instagram lifestyle. We now live in a soft generation that runs from pressure instead of growing through it. But Mary shows us that character is built through suffering. She worked with pain in her body, yet there was love in her heart. She was not classy by social media standards, but she was rich in heaven's records. And finally, she became blessed, not because of a man, but because of God's remembrance. Lesson from Mary. Stay faithful to what is right, not what is trending. Good character outlives beauty. Sacrifice is never wasted. God honors loyalty. Mary represents today's true heroes, invisible but powerful. Joel, the man who forgot who built him. Joel represents many modern men in society today. Men who are built by a woman, rise through her prayers, become successful, and then forget her. In today's world, it is a painful reality. Some men endure poverty with a woman, but cannot handle success with the same woman. The moment money enters, pride enters, attention increases, old love feels boring, loyalty feels outdated. Joel became the man he was because Mary stood, but he forgot that character matters more than class. He wanted a woman who looked expensive, instead of a woman who was valuable through storms. Nowadays, men leave their loyal wives for office secretaries, girls from the gym, Instagram models, boss ladies, but they forget one truth. The same way you lose a loyal woman, you lose peace. Joel lost his family, his respect, his covering, his peace. He thought upgrading a woman meant upgrading his life, but life doesn't reward disloyalty. His fall teaches every man this painful truth. A woman who stays with you in the dark is rare. A woman who prays for you is gold. A woman who believes in you is priceless. A woman who suffers with you is your destiny partner. Men of today, if a woman was with you when nobody respected you, never trade her for applause later. Because applause fades, but loyalty is forever. Sandra, the danger of luxury without character. Sandra represents today's flashy generation, the generation that values nails over nature, money over morals, appearance over character, lifestyle over loyalty. She didn't build Joel, she only enjoyed Joel. And when things stopped being sweet, she disappeared. This is how many modern relationships are. People don't love the person, they love the benefit. Many women now say, I don't date broke men. I deserve a soft life. I want luxury. But they forget. The same way you enter a life through money, you will leave that life through money. Sandra teaches this clear lesson. Beauty without character is an empty house. Her life shows. Looks attract. But character keeps. Money excites, but values sustain. Pride lifts up, but humility preserves. Nowadays, people want to marry rich, but they don't ask. Is he kind? Is he loyal? Is he God-fearing? Is he disciplined? Sandra's life was built on what Joel had, not on who Joel was. That is why it collapsed easily. Lesson from Sandra. If you only follow comfort, you will face discomfort tomorrow. The children, the silent victims of broken homes. The children in this story represent millions of voiceless children asking, why did Daddy leave? Why did Mommy cry? Why did our life change? In today's world, broken homes are now normal. Single mothers are now common. Fatherless homes are now everywhere. Children suffer emotionally because of adult decisions. They grow up with pain, trust issues, anger, fear of relationships. Yet they did nothing wrong. This story stands as a warning. When two adults break a home, the children break inside. That's why love must be responsibility, not just romance. A moment of pleasure for the father, turned into years of trauma for the children. Lesson for parents. Before you destroy your home, remember the innocent eyes watching you. Modern society, when love is now a business transaction. Today's relationships are more like business contracts. What do you have to offer me? How much do you earn? What's your status? Can you fund my lifestyle? Love is no longer patience, kindness, sacrifice, commitment. It is now upgrades, benefits, flexing, public image. People now marry to escape poverty instead of marrying to build legacy. But this story teaches real relationships are built in struggle. Strong homes are built with patience. True love is proven in dark seasons. Success only reveals who you really are. That is why Joel failed the test. God does not forget tears. When Mary cried alone at night, heaven recorded it. When she fried cassava with tears in her heart, God saw it. When she knelt to pray for a man who had betrayed her, heaven said, "Enough is enough." The Bible says, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy." Psalm 126:5. Your hardship is not punishment. It is preparation. Your pain is not abandonment. It is elevation. Your tears are not weakness. They are prayer. Mary's life teaches this spiritual truth. You don't need revenge when you have God. You don't need to fight when God fights for you. You don't need to force love when God brings restoration. If you are watching this today and you feel used, abandoned, forgotten, or betrayed, don't lose your heart. People leave. Money leaves. Love fails. But God remains. Type in the comments, God remembers me. My tears will turn to joy. I will not break. Subscribe to African Gospel Tales. More powerful stories are coming.